The big lie in retirement planning is that there's a perfect plan out there that you can create all the variables and follow it for 30 years and everything's fine. That's what you're looking for, the perfect plan. There is no perfect plan. Sorry to say that. It's not. I've never seen anyone with the perfect plan. Perhaps you can find it. I have serious doubts because you don't know the future. Okay, I'm going to talk about that today in this video. Your plan starts to rust within 30 minutes of you creating the plan. That's hard to accept, but hey, let's go into some facts about retirement planning. 51% of those over the age of 55 do not have any form of a retirement plan. Imagine that. That's from I'm going to say this wrong, but an Alliance survey. 42% of the people over 65. So it gets worse as people get older. I think that's interesting. I'm kind of trying to figure out what that means to me. Maybe some of those folks have pensions. That's my current thinking, but I didn't dive into that anymore. Of those that have a retirement plan, how often do they review it? 40% say monthly, 26% say quarterly, 16% say yearly, and then there's 18% left over. I don't know if those people never do review or what. I'm concerned about that 18%. I'm also concerned about the monthly. I think monthly is too often, can result in over tweaking your plan or over stressing your plan if you're doing it monthly. I started off quarterly, and then recently after 6 years of retirement, I backed off to once every 6 months. I want to see how that goes. And maybe if we go through an extended down market, I may back that down to quarterly, but we'll see. What are some of the top reasons people don't have a plan? Life is too uncertain to plan. You don't know what your expenses are going to be. You don't know what taxes are going to be. You don't know what inflation is going to be. You don't know what your rates of return. Why even try? Number two, it's not a priority right now in their life. Number three, they suspect they don't have enough money. Number four, it's just too complicated. None of those are good reasons, folks. Hopefully I'm not offending you, maybe just challenging you. If you're using one of these excuses, these are not good in my mind, and I'm just one person. We have not met. My name is Joe. I retired at the age of 54. I'm currently 61. I'm sharing my journey with you, not to be prescriptive, but to just show you one man's journey and how I make decisions from all the input sources out there. What am I doing with Social Security? Where am I investing my money? What location is it in? Pre-tax, post-tax, brokerage account, box in the backyard. Do I buy gold? Do I buy crypto? And why or why not? I talk about all these things to help you in your retirement journey. So imagine, I just thought of this, I'm planning a trip to Montana next year. Imagine going to Montana from Indiana without a map, without a plan at all. Yes, I'll probably still get there. I got a sense of direction. I remember before GPS. But will it be in the shortest amount of time and at the least costly mistakes? No chance. No chance. Okay? So don't be fooled. I said earlier that your plan is outdated, the hour that you create it, and it's going to be wrong, and there's no such thing as a perfect plan. But the planning process is priceless. Priceless. Okay? Hopefully you understand that. A plan gives you, one, confidence to retire. Retire earlier than you thought was possible. To spend. Confidence to spend comes from having a plan. Do I have enough money? Confidence to sleep at night when the market goes down 30%. Okay? 10 people a day send me a comment or an email saying they retired 1 to 4 years and 7 months. That's the current record. 4 years and 7 months earlier than they thought was possible. because they listened to my content and some others and followed my process that I laid out on how to retire early. That's the subject of another video. But if you could beat 4 years, 7 months, send me an email, send me a comment. Having a plan empowers you to know, because you have knowledge of how all the variables interact. Low rates of return, high inflation, timing of Social Security, mortality risk, one dying early, one dying, at 105. How do those all interact? Management of taxes. Every action you take in retirement affects all the other variables and what's best for you. So when you put in a snapshot in time of your retirement plan, you can tweak around with it and know what you're sensitive to. A big one is inflation. You get high inflation for 9% for 1 year, you have to go back into your plan and update your expenses and from that new baseline, and then maybe put in 3% after that going forward. But it dramatically changes your plan. What if, there's a long bear market's down. I was going to get 9% on my growth bucket two, my growth engine. I only got 4% or got 0. It changes. Okay. But knowing what I can control, like hey, the market's down 30%. Hey, we're going to dial back some of our controllable spending. Maybe it's put off that new car, put off the roof, put off the cruise to through the Panama Canal. You're gonna delay that one. You had planned that 2 years out. Maybe we'll take a driving vacation instead. Spending 30%. So it allows me to know the levers to control. So I don't just dial back my spending and say I'm going to live like a miser for the next 2-3 years while we go through this. Hey, I'm 61. I don't want to live like a miser for 3-4 years, and waste those active years, my go-go years. I don't want to do that. So confidence, it shows you what mistakes in your plan, or not mistakes, but updates to your plan causes it to fail. High inflation's one, low rates of return. And what can you do about it? I love going in once every 6 months and saying, okay, I'm going to put in low rates of return, pessimistic rates of return in my Boldin software, and then make my plan fail. And then I'm going to say, okay, what can I do with my expenses? What can I do with the timing of Social Security, one-time expenses? What can I do with that to get to be something more reasonable, above like 85% confidence of success? So all those levers of how to improve your plan give me confidence. So when the market goes down 30%, I know that I got levers. I've experienced them. I know, in the simulation that I'm running of my retirement, I know what I can do. And that gives me great confidence. It takes me from powerless to powerful. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Balden is the plan that I use. Okay. I've been buying it for 5 years. It wasn't available when I made the decision to retire. I found it. It gives me it's my permit to spend money, and my permission to spend money. Okay. So once every 6 months, I dive into it. I make my plan fail, and then I don't look at it for another 6 months. Okay. And it's Bolden. What I like about it, I could make something rudimentary in Excel. I could do that, but Bolden is created by a team. It's very visual. I love the graphics inside of it. It's updated by a team. The one big beautiful bill was passed, and within 24 hours, they had the updates in there. How everything's connected. Social Security and taxes, tax brackets, all that's updated. It's got AI-driven optimization, really, for taxes and Social Security, two of the biggest decisions you're going to make. IRMA, it optimizes that automatically for you, lets you make some choices, and it shows you visually your IRMA payments 10 years from now, 20 years from now, taxes 10 years, 20 years. Insane. It's insane. I'm smiling talking about it. And it also will suggest improvements to you. So it'll say, hey, you have some overlapping expenses. Does that make sense? You have errors. Maybe you entered something wrong in your Social Security time, and it'll say, hey, this looks like an error. And it recommends improvements to you. Hey, you'll have $100,000 more at your mortality if you do this. Um, what's that worth? They have training. There's a lot of videos on training that are included when you purchase this. It's $144 a year. $144 a year. They have classrooms. They have a Facebook community where people ask questions. If you want to start a community of, start a retirement group of your own, get on their Facebook page and just say, hey, I'm looking for like-minded individuals that use Balden. Let's get together. Send me a message and we'll start talking. And that's really starting to take off with Boldin. I didn't have anything to do with that other than saying a retirement group is a great idea. Again, see my link. It's the first one you'll come to. $144. They give you free 2 weeks. If you use my link, you get this free 2 weeks. There's some features that are held back. It's really just a introduction. Do you like the format? I have a video out there. I'll link it. I went from 0 to a Monte Carlo score in, I think it was 8 minutes. 8 minutes it took me to fill out. It's very comprehensive. Now, if you want to dive into it deeper than that, it takes more time. But to just get it initially set up with my balances and when am I taking Social Security and all that kind of stuff, took me 8 minutes. Once I had all my numbers in front of me on a sheet of paper. Planning is not, here's my message for today. Planning is not a one and done process. As soon as you create it, it's outdated. You've got to go back to it, okay? And update it with reality, okay? Life happens, okay? The inputs change, rates of return, inflation, your spending, all changes, okay? Especially over, 6 month periods of time. Confidence to spend, to take that trip when you're 61 instead of being, too frugal with your money and wasting your youth. You have the confidence to buy that car, to spend that money, remodel that kitchen. Confidence to sleep at night. That's really what it does for me. When the market goes down 30%, I don't think about it. In 2022, it didn't bother me at all. I wasn't even on my radar to think about changing my investments because I planned for that. I knew I had a plan for that. I knew what my levers were. When inflation went to 9%, I go to my plan, I update it, spend a couple hours stress testing it, making it fail, move on. Confidence to enjoy my retirement. The go years are far too short. I just had a conversation with my sister, and she just came back from the Canadian Rockies. Just a dream of a trip, going and seeing the glaciers, the mountains, the snow caps, the hiking, the nature, the wildlife, just phenomenal. But one of her messages was, this was exhausting. They went on a 10-mile hike and they said, I'm not making this 10-mile hike in my 70s. And I talked to far too many people that say they love their job and they're working until they're 68, 69, 70 and think their health is just going to continue on like it is. And you realize too late that no. Yes, there are some individuals that in their 70s and 80s are extremely active, but the odds of that are very low. And maybe you will be the exception, probably not. Okay. So again, on my plan, I created it in Balden. I had another plan created by Neil Fort Wendell. He's a financial advisor that was provided for me, and he created a plan for me, and that helped me with, optimize my plan inside of Balden. But Balden's the one that I looked at quarterly for 6 years, and then at the beginning of this year, I shifted that to every 6 months. But it gets me comfortable, gets me confident in my retirement plan, and isn't that what retirement is about? These reasons not to have a plan, life is too uncertain, not a priority right now, suspect I don't have enough money, and it's just too complicated. Come on. Come on. Bolden is my tool of choice. If you choose to use um, a financial advisor, I use Neil. He's my guy that I meet with 4 times a year. I think he's outstanding. Check him out. There you go. The planning process is priceless. Your plan, it's outdated. As soon as you put the last mark on that piece of paper or hit save on your computer, it's outdated. Okay? That doesn't mean it's not priceless work. Show out.